Have you ever wondered how to use AI to make content creation, how to make content for social media, how to create stories for story or storytelling with the use of AI, but also trying to make the content as meaningful and human as possible? Today, I'm going to show you just that, and I will show you what is my current approach to content creation using AI. So stay here, tuned to, and I will show you just that. Here we are in my current YouTube channel. Why that? Because I want to take this opportunity to ask you a kind subscribe to this channel because why not? I'm gonna give you fantastic content, fantastic information. Why not subscribe this channel? 97% of the people that are watching these videos, they don't subscribe. Actually, I would say 99% of people. So why not? You should definitely subscribe. That's the only way you can support a channel like this to have any hope to get anywhere than just few views. By the way, I'm Roberto Coscia. I'm a QA engineer, and the reason why I'm making this video for you guys is because a person, a friend, a very close friend I have called Carlo De Santis, asked me to show my approach on how I use AI to, in the best way possible, to create content, to create stories, to write a book, to write content in social media in general. What is my approach? So let's just move forward. Basically, what I use generally is Google Gemini or ChatGPT, but I'll show you how I will use that. Here we are in a Google Gemini, which is another LLM competitor of ChatGPT, but you can use either or both. Generally, in ChatGPT, you can either write a prompt to get a response, or you can create the famous GPTs. The same thing you can do with Google Gemini using the gems. And we're gonna just do that. So if you want to follow through ChatGPT, you just have to create a GPT. So if when you go to Google Gemini, you can click to Gems Manager, and then you will have the screen. Then you can create a new gem. Once you get new gem, you might want to create the title, storytelling book format. And then in the instruction, you will write what you will want this GPT or gems for Google to do. So remember that when you write prompts, it is a good practice to give the AI a role. So as you can see, an example is already showing you some example of that. You are a horticulturist with a background, with some description, take into account X, Y, and Z, and you are knowledgeable, casual, and friendly. So he already can understand some of the flow. In this case, you will say you are let's say a movie director that wants to write a story about, and you can write even you can write type of story under a square bracket. Let's say you can write whatever story, and you should choose, you can put a square bracket of characters you explain with a friendly cultural, well, folk dictionary terms to describe people and situations. You should talk in the first person and then square bracket environment, or without the square bracket, the environment is located to square bracket environment, and the first part of the chapter should have a hook that motivate the reader to continue the reading. The story you present should create emotion to then watch the next to then potentially read the next chapter of book should start with an introduction on a title with an explanation of the characters and context of the history that allow the reader to understand the topic of discussion. You should ask based on this prompt intelligent question to allow to figure out the story to discuss about, starting with the introduction chapter and continuing with the various chapters with intriguing titles till every output request should be a chapter starting with the introduction until the end if explicitly asked to modify a specific portion of the current output or any specific output requested. So this is basically a prompt which probably would be as you would maybe probably spend half an hour, 10 minutes, depends how much time you have. The longer you think well about the prompt, the better GPT you may create for yourself. You would spend some time here to formulate how you want to format, who you want the character to be. Basically, this will be a helper on creating stories for a book, probably. But you might give more context. You might more give different prompt of what instead of what I gave. But to make this make the point to write a context to reason through and allow the AI to create a GPT. Let's see, we also might want to copy this text and ask to formulate a better prompt based on this by the AI. As you can see, it creates a very good actionable prompt. I believe we can continue further to the knowledge section. If you have a book of yourself that you wrote in the past to simulate the specific language that you want the AI to talk with, that's a good idea. That's the best place where to add. Or maybe a book of a specific or favorite author that you want to resemble with this book. You can add it here. Gemini has much more bigger context length than it would instead have ChatGPT. So that's why Gems, I believe that for this might be a better bet. You might not have the Gems if you don't have the advanced subscription of Google Gemini. By the way, let's continue. We'll not add any knowledge. We'll just showcase what will come with this. So we save, and that's it. We have the gem. And now I can even write, I want to create a book on the topic of, on the narrative of a horror, no horror, or of a romantic story in the mountain where a boy meet a woman while running into a mean man on the bus. Let's not write too much. Let's define later the content. That's it. Let's allow the gem to do the job and to ask us the correct question. We have here already, it already created a chapter one. Imagine the air crisp and thin, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. We're high to the Apennine Mountains, maybe somewhere rugged in the less traveled in Calabria. Whoa, why it shows Calabria? Interesting. I recently asked something about Calabria, and it's interesting that it gave me Calabria as a location. Near the current location, perhaps sunlight cuts sharp angle cross ancient. Will not read it everything. You got the point. We get an introduction, the definition of some character, leading man, boy, they called Marco. So interesting name. The woman is called Elara. The antagonist is called Rocco. Content and premise. You get the point. Our initial treatment now, let's start refining it. As director, I need your input. You can see that now we are getting some questions on the character, on the setting, and on the first encounter. You can give now, based on this question, more depth of what you want to read the story. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time, but now I'm going to just very quickly ask, does the name is fine for you? What specific reason brought Marco to the mountain? I think Marco was to the mountain because got lost while after crashing on after falling from the plane. It doesn't make any sense, but to get the context, choose Puglia instead of Calabria. At the first encounter, how exactly was it accident? The meeting was accidental. Be free to decide the rest. Let's see just this, and let's see what output it gives. Probably now, or will ask me other questions, or it will go through the book formatting. By the way, having probably a text, a book, it would be ideal to set up the type of language to use. Created a chapter two, but the chapter two, the only thing that is quite short. We can probably refine the gem, editing it as we want. We can tell that the book should be 1,000 words, not the book, the chapter. We can say that the chapter should be 2,000 words, or maybe two. It could specify that if the text written is not enough to complete the chapter, to ask me to continue to give me the rest of the prompt in a second response. You got the point. This is the way I get storytelling done personally. What do you do yourself? Let me know in the comment. By the way, another thing I would use to formulate well the formatting of the GPT or the gem in this case would be to research a few books, research the type of language, write it to ChatGPT a chapter, analyze the structure of the chapter, and probably help me with this to formulate the structure of how I want the style of writing to be. This will help the AI to be the most accurate possible. Then, once you get a response, you can even ask to review the chapter, to remake it, etc., etc., etc. Maybe you can start with the first chapter, then you can even decide to upload in the gem the first chapter as a reference, as you refine, so that you can refine it in such a way that reflect your style or the story, and then it could give more accurate responses to the second, third, fourth chapter, and so on. There is some work to do at the beginning, but that will help you out more and more later on. This is the way I would use this for storytelling. By the way, along the same kind of line of thought, I would use this also if I want to write content for social media, for example. It's all about studying good content, understand how good content is structured, how the hook is structured, how basically good content is structured, so that you can resemble and give data to the AI so that it uses it as a reference to write better content based on the topic you wish to discuss about. I hope this video was useful for you. Let me know in the comment if you would do anything differently. Like, subscribe, and support this channel. And see you in the next video.